Hi, my name is Lisa B and welcome to Let's Talk About Real Estate and also the Boardroom series. Today I'm interviewing Ryan McCann, and Ryan is from First National in Cleveland, and Ryan is the #1 salesperson in First National in Queensland and has been for many years. And Ryan is in our book, Real Estate Agents, What You Need to Know Now. And in the book, he shares loads of tips on how to be successful, how to get to #1. Now, today, the interview that I'm talking through with Ryan, he's going to be telling you all about his life and what happened, the pressures and the stress of real estate, what can happen when you get to #1, you know, the pressures and how something ends up giving. Now, it involves the police, it involves drugs, it involves arrests. It involves really, you know, everything that could turn bad, it did. So this is Ryan's story on what happened, how he turned his life around, and how he's now helping other people with this. And I hope this is something that, you know, you really kind of take on board and really, you know, get that you need time off in real estate. You need to prioritize, and you need to put yourself first. So really hope you enjoy the interview, and leave some comments and let us know what you think. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining me this morning.
My pleasure, absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and including me in the book. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. So
yeah, it is.
the reason, like I wanted you in the book for lots of reasons, but I also wanted you in the book because I wanted to actually do this and have an interview with you as well and talk about your career and your story and everything that's happened, because I think you do have a really interesting story.
Yeah.
So first of all, how long have you been in real estate and how did you start in real estate, just to give people a background?
This September it'll actually be my 20th year. So I turned 40 this year too. So I'm not sure if that's sad or fantastic. For half of my life, it's been real estate. In fact, it's the only full-time job I've ever had. So it's And how I started was my dad was in real estate, and he was a really, really good real estate agent here locally in the Bayside. My stepmom's in real estate. My mum was in real estate. So I think it was always going to happen at some point. So straight out virtually out of school. I think it was about 18 months after I left school. I was working at Ray White.
Oh wow! And so your new office now has been going for about 3 years, and You've achieved amazing success in those 3 years. You're #1 real estate for Queensland for First National. You've won loads of other awards. What's been the key to your office success?
Yeah, look, it's been it happened probably a little bit quicker than we all expected, to be honest. And the office, as you said, picked up 2 second places for Queensland and First National, and 85 offices. The best thing that we've enjoyed is each year we've got better too with the sales figures. So I think. I think it's important to, from an office point of view, what we've tried to do here. We're not a huge office by any stretch. We've got 7 agents and a couple of PAs and some really, really good admin team. But I know what I'm good at in real estate, and I know what I'm not good at. So for the things that I'm not good at, I employ people that are very, very good at what they do. And I don't, even though I'm no, exactly, as we saw with Billy. And the girls at the front, we've got Jess and Wendy. Jess picked up a couple of awards in our First National group. She was the #1 receptionist of the year, and she's been promoted now, so she virtually runs the entire office. And Wendy's also in the motor part of the department with all the financials and all the bits and pieces. So they're really, really good at what they do, and it comes natural to them. I don't cross that line. We use it as that analogy, that three-legged stool, and there's 3 sections of the business, and I don't go over into their section. So I think that also gives them a sense of ownership of the business as well. When you've got staff that volunteer to come into work and do things, I think you've created a really good culture, and that was really important to me when we first started, was to make sure that this was an office that people wanted to be at. You didn't have to sell it to somebody. They wanted to be here. So I was very, very fortunate that the majority of the staff here followed us over from the previous employer that we all worked at 4 years ago. And I've been very, very fortunate with that. And with that comes a great teamwork and we all do get along really well. So creating that culture is definitely part of, I think, why First National Cleveland succeeded so quickly.
And so do you only employ experienced salespeople? Is that right?
That's true. So unfortunately, and this is before all the rules and regulations changed here in Queensland, we had a model that we said that we wouldn't take rookie agents on, and that wasn't it wasn't anything negative towards new people starting the industry. It's just that that's how we pitched our brand to the public. Is it doesn't matter which agent you choose from First National Cleveland. They're all experienced. They've all been handpicked, and they've all been trained by myself. And we go through obviously issues that the agents might have, whether it's vendor paid advertising, listing presentations, marketing, negotiating. We sit down we tackle that each week together as a team. There's a big whiteboard in the boardroom. At any point in time of the week, they scribble something down that they've had an issue with during the week, and that comes up at our sales meeting, and we tackle that together. And it gives them the confidence that they're going out doing what we've put in place, or I've put in place over the years, and they're going out to the marketplace with that confidence that well, it worked for him, so I can't see why it won't work for me. So the important thing was we brought on Billy as my assistant. He was the only one that hadn't had real estate sales experience, but as you saw 5 minutes ago, he's pretty. He's been a great addition to the team, and his role will develop over the next coming months. So he virtually branches out on his own within our business as well.
Oh, perfect. And so, what's been your success as a salesperson? What's been the key to that? Listing and selling.
So I think, look, listing and selling is obviously what we all have to do to succeed. I think when you're saying what's the key success personally, I think it's really a cliche to say, be resilient, don't give up and things like that. But I think if I was talking to somebody like Billy, who's starting his career, or for anybody out there that's thinking about getting into real estate or struggling with real estate, for me, when I look back to 1998 when I started, it was knowledge. Everybody says, you can't give up. You've got to do this, and you've just got to get yourself back. Knowledge was the basis for me. I was 20, and with no disrespect to anybody out there, it was an old man's game at that point in time in 1998. There weren't a lot of women in real estate, and there wasn't a lot of young people in real estate. I was 20, and I was certainly the youngest by about 13, 14 years in my office. It was a big office of 20 agents. So it became like an old man's club. And I really struggled in my first 6 months of real estate to be taken seriously, which was frustrating because you've got the energy, you've got the desire, and you come out of the blocks, like Ben Johnson, but but you just couldn't get an opportunity because of my age. I had clients say to me, or prospective clients say, my youngest child's older than you. You're not going to look after my biggest asset. And that was heartbreaking because you really wanted someone to give you a go. So knowledge for me, I couldn't change how I looked. I couldn't change the hand-me-down suits. I couldn't change the lemon yellow Commodore I was driving around in. But what I could change was knowledge. So I really concentrated on saying, hey, if they're going to knock me back, if I know more about the marketplace than anybody else, their agents, the other agents, the best agents in my office, if I know more about the sales, the listings are coming on board, what's happened, what's been withdrawn, how can they not turn me? How can they not give me the opportunity to sell their property? Absolutely. So, and I remember vividly, it was a house at Thornside that makes me laugh when I think about it, because I really gave this listing presentation everything I had, and I thought it was in the bag. I honestly thought, I've got this, it's done. And when I made the phone call back to the gentleman to see, when would you like me to start? He said to me, Ryan, I think you're going to be great in the few years to come, but we've just decided to list our house with somebody else. It was at PRD. And I was just like, it was one of the hardest conversations I had, but my principal at the time made me make the call, and I rang him back and I had to ask the question, which is confronting. May I ask what I didn't do to get the job? Was there something I could improve on that I would have got your business for next time? I wish you the best of luck, and I'm not sour about it. I'm obviously disappointed, but there must be something in my presentation that wasn't up to speed. Otherwise, you would have given me the job. Yeah. And it's a really hard conversation to have, but it was probably one of the best learning curves for me. And the guy turned around and said, your presentation was perfect. look, it's not the Taj Mahal, but it's the best asset I've got. And we just wanted to give it to somebody who was a little bit more experienced. And that hurt because the person that they gave it to had been in real estate for the same amount of time I have. I was at the time, but they were about 40, 50 years of age, and I was 20. So that's where I really thought, I've just got to go out there and learn everything. If I know more about the market.
So how long did that take you before you started to see a turnaround? That's fine.
Yeah, within 12 months. Within 12. And again, I remember Philip Parker kicking me out of a Ray White training session at Chermside because as he was walking on the podium there, telling us all the dialogue and what to use, my lips were going the same as what he was saying. And he pulled me up. He said, "Mate, what's your name?" And I said, "Ryan." He said, where are you from?" I said, "Ray White Capella Bar." He said, "Can I give you a suggestion?" I said, yeah, sure, Phil. He said, "You know everything I'm saying. As I'm saying it, your lips are moving and saying the same thing I'm saying. Go out and implement it." And to have that confidence, I went out to the marketplace and it was like an old head on young shoulders, and it really got me traction, and knowledge was everything. I was so confident with what I knew about the marketplace. I knew, my opposition's listings better than what they knew them. I knew what the price reductions were. I knew what offers were coming in. I was staying in contact with other agents at other offices, asking them, "Have you had offers on this? Has that been priced, reviewed and things like that?" So it was really, really good to get all that information, hold on to it, and then go out to the marketplace and virtually just put it all on the table for a client to see. And I think that's what gave me traction, because I got those opportunities and we converted them from there.
Absolutely. Like you say, I think it is a lot to do with knowledge and confidence, whatever the age, isn't it?
100%. And it doesn't, like you said, Lisa, it doesn't matter what age you are, especially today's a completely different beast now. Obviously, in 2018, it's I think people now look at younger real estate agents as they've got more energy and they've got more technology. So why not?
Exactly, the tech savvy ones. All right. So I wanted to ask you this, and I hope you don't mind, but before you opened your office 3 years ago, you had some significant things happen that shook your life up in all sorts of crazy ways. Would you mind sharing what happened?
Yeah. How blunt do you want me to be?
As blunt as you like. I mean, this will help other people, like real estate is a very stressful occupation. It can consume you. It can, it can send people over the edge. It's just so stressful and everything else. And people take that stress in different ways. So if you can share what happened, how you dealt with it.
100%.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, it was virtually forced upon me. I didn't really have much of a decision at the start because if for anyone that doesn't know the story, look, in 2014, my life was not great, my personal life. Sales figures wise, I think I was still number 2 guy in Queensland for LJ Hookers at the time. I think we were riding around 900,000. But my personal life behind the scenes was crap. Broken down relationships, which was devastating. Really did not have my heart in the game. Not enjoying the environment that I was in, and it all led to a complete breakdown, and I got arrested for using drugs, smoking drugs, and I ended up in rehab as well. What came after that was the hardest part, because there was some horrendous articles that were written out there that I was selling drugs, which was couldn't be further from the truth. What I did do wrong, besides obviously doing it myself, was I didn't take a lawyer into the meeting with the police. And when they said to me, "Tell us what you've done, what you think you're in trouble for," I said, "Well, I've shouted my mates at home on the couch, 4 of us, $50 worth of gear, and I've been smoking it." And they said to me, how long has this been going on for? I said, "A couple of years." And they said, "How many times do you think you've shouted your mates?" And I said, I don't know, a dozen. They said, "No, we think it's more than that." And so 2 dozen, I don't know. It was ended up being 17, 20 times or something like that. And the police officer leaned back in his chair, and he had a big smile on his face, and I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. And he said, "Ryan, you just confessed to 17, I think it was, supply charges." I said, "No.
Wow.
Hang on. No, I didn't." And he said, "You did." I said, "Ryan, if I buy a carton of beer and I give you a stubby out of that carton, I supplied you beer. The product makes no difference. So from that day, that was September the 1st, 2014. I'll never forget it. I was done. And I said, I think I need a lawyer. He said, I think you do. So the writing was on the wall for me at that point in time. But in saying that, Liz, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I mean that on so many different levels, because I needed the kick in the pants. You know, I love that saying, you know, there's no greater fear than the fear of loss. When you think you've lost something, like the career that you've chosen and the only career you've ever had, when you think you've lost it, it's something that I can't even explain, because I just wanted to go back in real estate. I used to ring my friends at the old company I worked at, and just asking how their days were on Saturdays, because I knew they were open homes. You know, we go through stages in our careers where we're like, 12 open houses today, bugger. You know, and there I am going, how did you get through your open house? I want to be there. Was it good? How many people did they like it? Have you got second inspection? And I missed it. And it's not until you think you've lost it, you want it more. And you know, obviously in 2 months' time, I'm 4 years clean, which is for me is I love it. It's fantastic. I get just as many phone calls today from mums, especially mums, asking if I could sit down with their kids. I've got a 16-year-old kid that's, you know, they found some drugs in their bedroom, or they think they're on it, and they've asked me to come out and speak with them, and I can talk to them on a different level. You know, I've got an opportunity with the business. When we opened up First National Cleveland, we took on an amazing charity called Drug Arm. And we financed, in 3 years, we financed 15 people that couldn't afford to go to rehab to go through rehab.
Wow.
And that's an ongoing agreement I have with Drug Arm, and all the staff participate in it. And we bring it, you know,
the parents must thank you, you know, the kids.
It's awesome. I get updates. So I used to take a few guys out, and we go for bacon and eggs on a Friday morning after stock run, and I get text messages updating me on how they're going and how long they've stayed clean, and it's really good. It's like I said, it's a world that I probably wouldn't have had an introduction to had everything not gone to shit for me in 2014. So a lot of people say, oh, it must have been hard, it must have been difficult. Yeah, okay, it was hard and difficult, but I put myself in that situation. But I wouldn't change it. I would not change it. It's given me a new outlook on life. I certainly empathy is something that I've had to learn really, really quickly. Second chances. I'm all about, obviously, second chances. And people, it just made me. Oh, look, it's, you know, like I said, it's, you know, addictions, you know, it's a hard conversation to have with some people, but for me, I'm an absolute open book with it. And if you want to talk about it, I'll talk for days about it. And, you know, I got an opportunity to sit in a rehab centre for 3 weeks and see some people that were doing it a lot worse than what I was. And for me, I had a choice. Do I keep going down that route, or do I change and find my passion again, which was real estate, and something that I really wanted to do? And you know, you look around us now, 18 months after that, #1 agent at First National in Queensland, and we've got this thriving business, which is really outperformed what everybody thought it would do. So I wouldn't change a thing.
You had something big to prove too, didn't you? You know, to yourself and to others.
Yeah.
And
Well, I do. I must admit, I do have a plaque over the wall when you walk into the sales department, and you might have seen it when you were here the other week, and it says success is the best revenge. And
absolutely.
you know, I see that every time I walk into the office.
So how did it get to that point though? Was it just the stress? Was it just the release? Was it not taking time off? Was it just focusing on work? Was it, you know, what led to that? Yeah. Okay. So
you just nailed it. It was a combination of, and that's why, you know, when we spoke the other day, I'm very selfish these days with my Sundays. Unless I know it's a money making day, like you're going to sign the contract, I do need time out. You know, I'm not doing the same amount of hours as I used to, but I'm being more productive and more successful in my numbers now. I think last year's figures were 1.385 in personal sales. Where I was working more and doing more hours and writing 900 at my previous place, and I didn't have any time for myself. Obviously, relationships was a personal thing, but yeah, not looking after yourself, and I suppose not taking care of yourself. That was it.
Yeah. So now you schedule days off, you schedule holidays, and you make sure that it is about you. Work fits into your life now. Yeah.
100%. I mean, I've been on more holidays in the last 3 years than I have in 20 years of real estate.
No, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And I'm sure your staff would also, sort of follow the same lead as you.
Oh, I'm much nicer to be around too.
Yeah, I bet. Now, okay, so
more relaxed.
I bet. So we were talking the other day about rejection and how you handle rejection, and no matter how long you've been in the business, no matter what the deal is, when rejection happens, whether you miss out on a listing, you miss out on a sale, it hurts, especially when you know the people, you're connected with them, you know your job. How do you handle that rejection? What do you do?
I think for all real estate agents, we can all understand what it's like. And I think the important thing is just know it's going to happen. It's not when, if, it's when. So I think that's the first thing. You've just got to prepare yourself as much as you can. But when it actually happens, there's no cushion for it. It really takes the wind out of you. And I think it's important to just take that moment. Do what you've got to do. Go to the gym, hit a boxing bag, have a cry, but just get rid of it. Just have that moment, get rid of it, and get back to work. Finish the day on something positive, whether it's some feedback calls, an opportunity for a listing. Don't go home in that frame of mind. Finish something positively for the day. And I said it to one of my opposition actually the other day. She posted something on Facebook, and I said, be the first person back into the office tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Get into the office. Like, get in there and start your day earlier. And normally, if you drag that out, if you drag that bad experience out, it's really easy to make a bad moment or a bad phone call that you received. It's really easy to make that into a bad day, and then that goes into a bad week, and that goes into a bad month, and then all of a sudden you look up on the board and you've had the worst quarter you've ever had. Well, there's no point beating yourself up about it. You can't change it. And I think just accept it, it's happened, and you move on. You have to clear your head, get back to the office, and get in there and start the day earlier than you ever have before. And that's the resilient part of real estate. I think anybody that's hugely successful in real estate, the more success you get, the more fails you get.
Absolutely.
That's something you've got to learn that really quick. It's I have more disappointments in a year than a rookie's going to have. And they hurt a lot more because you expect it. You expect to have got that business. But you've just got to get up, brush yourself off, finish the day on a positive. It can be a short day. You can go out and, spend time with your partner, spend time with your kids. I had one the other week, and all I did is, I'm going out for dinner.
Yeah.
That's it. Going out for dinner. I'm going to order everything I can.
Yeah.
and I'm going to have a good
Comfort
night.
food.
I'm going to go to bed. There you go. And grills and then go home and just get back to the office the next day and get in there earlier to show you're not defeated. Because that's the important thing, is making sure that those moments in your career do not defeat you. And once you've got that, you better prepare the next time round. You're still not going to enjoy it, but you better prepare the next time round. So that would be my advice to anybody. That's what I do. And like I said, only last week, it was probably one of the hardest moments I've ever had in my 20 years of real estate. And I had to dust myself off. It wasn't an enjoyable conversation. Got back into the office the next day, signed up 4 new listings the following day, and sold the property as well. And I'm over it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't change it, and we move on from now. So my month and my quarter is not going to be affected by what happened.
Exactly. And like Tanya Flood says in your office, next.
She does.
Good word.
Just move on. That's it. Just keep going.
Exactly. Now, you started in real estate when there was no video marketing, no social media, none of that sort of thing. Do you think it was easier back then, or do you think it was harder? Like what people that are starting now, like I just think, man, they got it so easy. I don't know. What's your idea?
You know what? That's an awesome question. It's a really, really good question, and I'm I'm actually going to go on a different tangent and say, I think it was easier back in the black and white days, back in 1998. And the reason for that, and you're right, there was no such thing as videos. I mean, we were, we didn't even have cameras with digital film then. I remember RP Data still being a black screen with green typing. There was no photos on it. So the way I look at it is today, the real estate agent today is expected now not just to be a good performer on video and deliver well. You've now got to come up with exciting things with the video, or humor, or something that makes it stand out, and changing the way that people watch the videos and how well they concentrate on them and pay attention. So everybody has to have a go at the videos, and I understand it's not for everyone, but if you do the videos and you do it well, you actually get listings that come from that. And there's some fantastic, agents that do some videos at the moment. We're certainly, not at the top of the tree. I mean, I watch Plum Properties videos, Daniel Lee, and I think he's the best in the business at it. And I just watch him for pure entertainment. I think it's that good. So I would imagine if I'm a consumer looking at, who am I going to list my home with? That would certainly, for me, if it was a professional outfit, you look, professional on camera. It doesn't have to be humorous, but just professional in your editing and in the quality that you use. I think that can be a fantastic listing tool. But you actually didn't do that for. You're obviously doing the video to sell the property, but it actually becomes a listing tool. However, if you're not good at them, and the quality is not good, and you're not good behind the camera, I think it could deter people from using you. So it could be, Lise, a little bit harder in 2018 than it was in 1998. In 1998, we lost listings because you had a bad listing presentation.
Yeah.
Well, now you can lose a listing if your video is not so sharp.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I think, back in the old days, I found that, it was really about the results. It was about your for sale signs. It was about your sold signs. It was about getting out there and all that sort of thing, which in lots of ways it was easier, right?
Yep.
But these days, I think, people can sort of have the perception of what they're doing and, set themselves up to just look so amazing. And that helps them bring in the business. It's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, if you were starting with,
And I suppose you can look at it too. It's back when we were starting in the late 90s. You just had really one forum that was your newspaper and your letterbox drops, or at Ray White we used to call them Magic 25s. And you did your letterbox drops and you just listed, you just sold. Now you've got a lot of forums that you've got to market yourself in. There's social media. There's obviously the digital side of things with the videos. Newspapers still have a role, and obviously a lot of agents are still using letterbox drops and door knocking and all those bits and pieces. So you've now just got to create this like this pie graph that you've got to succeed in all of those to be the ultimate agent.
Yes, the marketing, all the strategies and all that sort of thing. But, I don't know. I'm sort of just thinking, okay, so if you were to start in real estate now, it was your first week, what would you do? Would you do the old way, or would you try and, mix it up, or would you do the new way of, getting out there online? What would you do?
Look, common sense would tell me to do what I did because I'm happy where I am, and it's been hugely successful. But in reality, 2018, real estate has changed, and you have to embrace change. If you were a real estate agent in the 1980s and you didn't want to get a mobile phone,
which
you would have gone bust. Still had a two-way walkie-talkie. As we went through the 90s, if you didn't upgrade all your computers and get your digital cameras and all the bits and pieces, and you were still waiting on film, you would have probably gone bust. You would have got left behind. Nowadays we've got LED window screens and offices and all of, and that's just to grab your attention and make you stand out. So when you look at it from a sales point of view, you've got to look at the same thing as a business model. You have to adopt. I think all of those forums that we spoke about still have a place in real estate, but you do have to adopt, study and practice all those other methods. So today, it's really important, and we can't, if you miss the actual, the actual heart of real estate and what it is. It's about connecting to your community. So you've got to be involved in your community, and you can have all the flashiest signage and social media posts and the best videos going around. But if your community isn't connected with you, then you kind of miss something. And for me, it would be, joining organisations. If I was starting today, I'd be involved in certain organisations, in business organisations, in social organisations, in fundraising organisations. I'd be really getting involved in all of those things, because they all branch out to families and people in your community. They're going to list their home and sell. One of my big things is, be genuine. Nobody likes a fake. So if you want to do it for the right reasons, because you want to get in there and you want to help. And I think that will facilitate and drip feed through to your business.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I think a lot of people, particularly the young ones these days, the millennials, are more so about the social media and not the belly to belly like we're used to. You still have to make sure that you have your offline and your online methods and your belly to belly. If you're not in front of people, you're not going to get the results.
You nail it on the head. Sometimes I think you get lost in that social media life and the world that they live. But don't forget to connect to your community. That would be the big thing for me. Join clubs and join organisations and charities and get in there and get your hands dirty with that. And I think when you don't see it straight away, but I think it will have a tremendous impact on your business.
For sure. Now, lastly, what would be your top 10 tips for success in real estate?
My top 10 tips would be over-service buyers and sellers. So I think some agents can sometimes think they're too good to look after buyers, and they just want to look after sellers and control the market in that regard. But I think you got to remember, all buyers become sellers, and they really do remember how you looked after them when they went and bought a property. And when they go to put a house in the market, you're 3 steps ahead of the next person going for a listing presentation. So I think certainly overseeing buyers and sellers. If you're going to say you're going to do something, then actually do it. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. It's the biggest complaint that real estate agents get. You said you were going to do this and it didn't happen. So don't overpromise and underdeliver. Make sure you don't do that. As we spoke about before, rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough. That client just wasn't suited for you. So it's a massive. People come back and they beat themselves up because they didn't get that listing. And rejection's hard for some people to take. I've had it my whole life, so I'm fine with it. But rejection doesn't mean you're not good enough. Yeah. Obviously, never giving up is important in real estate. It's just something you have to. Everybody has to live by that in real estate. Yeah. What's that? 3 or celebrate your success.
Yes. 100%.
Enjoy it. If you don't reward yourself, it could be something as simple as a holiday. It could be taking your missus out to dinner. It could be taking the kids to an amusement park. Celebrate it. There's nothing better than having a midweek day off and spoiling someone and just going out and doing something you wouldn't normally do. Enjoy it. If you like to have a cigar, have a cigar. If when you finish a sale, have drinks with the office. So whatever it is that you like doing, just celebrate the success. Sometimes it's a long time between drinks, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
Again, same as what we said before. Get involved properly with your community.
Yeah.
And I can't stress how important that is. Get involved with the community, so your business is part of the community. And again, I know we touched on that before as well. Is always be genuine in what you do. No one likes a fake. So if you're going to do something, be genuine about it. And that goes from anything inside the office or outside. Just be genuine, and people appreciate that. So 8, number 8.
Yeah.
Number 8 would be something I've always done from the very start of my career, and that is exceed your clients' expectations. I like nothing more in my business, and my guys do it now, and they tap me on the shoulder and they let me know. The seller said to me, mate, I'm not going to sell for anything less than 780. 780 is the number I want. You get me 780 and we are selling today. Fantastic. When you come back at 6:30 at night, they're expecting you to have 775 or 772 on paper, and you come back with 782 and a half.
Yeah.
So exceed your client's expectations. That's got me more repeat business than anything else. It's $1,000 sometimes. It's $1,500. It's $2,000. It doesn't seem like a lot, but your clients absolutely appreciate it, and you'll get more business from it. So that's the one thing that I've always done it. And sometimes it's only $500, but you've got more than what they asked for. Yeah. So Ryan Connor did it in my office the other day, and he got a sale. I think it was $1,100 or $1,200 more than what the owner asked for, and that just made me so proud to see the agents in the office doing that, exactly what we preach. So always exceed your client's expectation if you want the repeat business. That is, be fair. I think as real estate agents, I think sometimes, especially when we deal with each other.
Big time. We spoke about that the other day. Be fair.
Yeah, because I think we can we go on the defense really quickly, and we can be ruthless to each other. You know, we have good days and bad days, just like your peers do in real estate. Just be fair. What comes around goes around, and I think that's really important in real estate. And the last thing would be, passion changes everything. And I have got that on my boardroom that you stepped in the other week. Be passionate on what you do. When you're writing an ad, be passionate about it. When you're doing a marketing campaign for someone, if you don't believe in it, how the hell are they going to dip their hand in their pocket for $7,000 and do it as well? Be passionate on what you do. From marketing to your listing presentation, you've got to have that high energy and be passionate what you do. The moment you lose a passion for what you're doing, you probably should hang up the boots and not sell real estate. So that would be my 10th one, passion.
Wow, you did amazing doing that. You did that all of it. That's amazing. And I think too, when you said about with other agents being fair, I think just the integrity and the character in real estate and doing the right thing and treating the other agents with respect. Even if you don't like them, you don't want to talk to them, like we talk about in the forums, the sign jumping and, all of that sort of stuff. There's no need for it. There's listings to get, go get your own. You don't need to be disrespectful to another real estate agent in your area. You don't need to be disrespectful to the vendor.
We've just covered how brutal the industry can be, financially, emotionally, for the best of us. So for me, it's just be fair, and you never know when you might need somebody else's help, or you might have a buyer that's close to you that just wants to go through you, and that agent actually has the listing. So you never know what's around the corner. So be fair.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. I thank you for your honesty and, sort of sharing with us your story, because there's so many people that have gone through similar things and, the stress and all that sort of stuff. And so thank you for being so honest and genuine. And thank you for being in the book. So you've shared a lot more tips in here as well. So it's just been amazing. I'm so glad that you were a part of it. And just want to say thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you again for including me in your book. It was lovely.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.